Welcome back to Bay Sunday. The Mission, it's a special part of San Francisco and that has a rich history. Joining us is Dick Evans. He is the author of a new amazing book about one of the most iconic neighborhoods here in the city of San Francisco. So, Dick, thank you for joining us here on Bay Sunday. Tell us what inspired you to delve into this neighborhood, The Mission.
Yeah, well, the genesis of it came from having done a book on Haight-Ashbury several years earlier and getting a lot of favorable feedback and people asking, would I do another book? And I would turn around and ask them, well, what neighborhood would you like to see done? And of all of the feedback I got, The Mission came up most frequently because it's a microcosm of what's going on in the Bay Area, has all the issues of gentrification, of housing issues, human rights, gay rights, all of these issues show up in The Mission. Right. It's very photogenic.
Oh, absolutely. Very colorful. When you go through the book, the first thing that pops up is the color.
Exactly. And it's not just the murals, but the old Victorian houses, the storefronts, the shops, the people. It's a real collection. It's a kaleidoscope.
Tell us why, as we take a look at some of the murals here, why is it that The Mission attracted so many different kinds of artists and the artists that we're seeing out there?
Yeah, it's the Latino roots of recent Latino roots, because prior to that it was actually a blue-collar European neighborhood. But it's the Latino roots where muralism really flourished, particularly in Mexico. And that came to The Mission with the Latino population. And it's a way of displaying and communicating publicly. So it's public art. And it's just grown and grown.
And when do you think that change kind of happened?
Oh, in the 60s and 70s, probably 70s, and then into the 80s. And then, of course, it's just continued to grow.
You've talked to so many people while you were working on this book who know The Mission so well, the people, the residents there, people who have businesses there. What do you think is the future of The Mission in the neighborhood?
A very interesting question.
What is it going to look like?
Yeah, you know, many people are worried that it's going to be totally hollowed out and it'll just be a theme park, so to speak. I don't think so. It's got a very strong culture. And there are some very dedicated people who want to protect that culture. And they've taken some steps to define the 24th Street Cultural Corridor. There's a lot of protection of the art now. There's also even been some practical success in getting lower cost housing, which is, of course, a challenge throughout the city. But they've actually had some recent successes there.
And we're taking a look at some more pictures here from this book. One of the things that struck me was also the architecture that we see in The Mission, and you see it in the book as well.
Yes, well, the architecture, of course, similar to other parts of San Francisco, has a lot of old Victorian. It also has a lot of smaller homes than you see in some other parts of the city. And then the storefronts, I think, themselves are very interesting. But that's changing rapidly. You see some of these being torn down, new modern buildings going up, and there's a battle every time that comes up on the zoning agenda. And
one of the best parts about The Mission, some really wonderful parades out there.
The Carnival is a tremendous parade. This year it's May 28th. Last year there were, I think, 80 different dancing troupes present at it. It's really fantastic. We took our two young grandsons to it last year. They were out dancing in the streets with the Brazilian dancers and the Mexican dancers, and it really shows the color.
They were having more fun than Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, we were having fun too.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about the book. You also have a lot of writers who contributed to this.
Yeah, we decided to make it more than just a coffee table picture book. So what we did, we involved the community deeply. We partnered with Presida Eyes, who are one of the leading muralist organizations. We specifically contacted many of the local residents. We have a lot of quotations, poems, excerpts from other written material in the book. We have this wonderful foreword poem by Juan Felipe Herrera, the United States Poet Laureate, who happened to have spent his formative teenage years in The Mission. Of course, we have Santana on the cover, who liked the photo so much that he requested to license it for 50 posters for his agents, and then bought 20 copies of the book for his family.
Very nice, nice. Now, you as a photographer, how did you kind of narrow down which ones you wanted to keep in this book?
Oh, it's tough. I had probably between 4,000 and 6,000 images that we started with.
And you narrowed it down to
We
how
narrowed
many?
it down. We wanted to select images that were representative of a group of interests. So you'll see a collection of images around architecture, as you say. You'll see a group of images around carnival. You'll see some around mission mural themes. So you have some on gentrification. There's another section on gay and lesbian rights. There's another one on black power, and more recently, police conduct. And there's one that I like, and they're not distinctive, so we started with chapters, but then we let it just blur together because so many cover different topics. But there's one that I just call fantasy,
Right.
Where the muralists are just having a heck of a good time with fantasy figures, and that's a favorite of mine.
Yeah. Well, Dick Evans, we want to thank you for joining us here on Bay Sunday. The book is called The Mission by San Francisco photographer Dick Evans. It's available online on the website missionbooksf.com, and it's in bookstores right now. Coming up, some tips about how to boost the male biological clock when Bay Sunday comes back after this quick break.